Cypress Bend Winery, Laurinburg, North Carolina. Beautiful. So neat. How pretty is that? Another view. Take a look inside.
Another tree house, we have one small.
The inside.
The last name is Barker.
So yeah, here we have, most of you recognize the owner. There's there already, and so there's his Tinkerbell Ferry. It's basically like coming here watching Bob Ross every day he was here. So there's the events tent, and then here's the winery that you'll in with the tasting room. We're now going to be walking back into this portion, which was established last year, 2021 is when we moved into it, basically. So, let's see, and right here is Dan and Tina's part carved in the tree. We also had a big, what do they call those, fox squirrels that was living around this tree here. He's now memorialized up there. What was his name, Oscar? Yeah. Was Oscar the egret that lived out here, or the heron? So the owners. So it's Dan and Tina, like they carved it in the tree. Wow, there's so many details. There are. The little hidden gems all over. Alright, so just like here. Help each other out. Like we, if somebody has a question, we can always find a way to come to the answer. Because a lot of us are like, what's going on with this when it comes to muscadine? Like we've discovered that we have a lot of lactic acid, for instance, which normally only occurs in barreled wines. So when you take your red, you pop it in the barrel, that's where you get lactic acid into a wine. But in muscadine, it occurs naturally on the vine. It doesn't happen in vinifera. There's no ellagic acid to speak of. But that's kind of like you get, sometimes people speak of with muscadine that they're getting kind of like maybe a burning sensation on their tongue lightly, or kind of like a matte feeling on their tongue. Kind of like when you bite into a mango pit, you get that weird sort of feeling sensation on your tongue, a little bit numbing and prickly. That's the ellagic acid. And so there's all these components, and Philip spoke about that as well, that we just don't know about yet with muscadine wine, like what amounts they're in and so forth. Luckily, there's going to be more research done in that department with App State University. And that's something we're going to talk about tomorrow too, so I'm going to mention it to you all today, is that we had a muscadine program this summer, like a quality improvement sort of program where we spoke to people who are looking to get into the winemaking portion of it. And if you were part of that, signed up for it, and they were online courses, of course, because with the pandemic and so forth. But if you went to those meetings and were able to partake, you would have received a free refractometer, and you would have also been given the option to send in samples of your juice for free to be tested with like a very high-end spectrophotometric unit that would tell you everything from your acids, your residual sugar, your TA, your pH, and spit that out for you in a format that you can use during harvest, as well as your yan or your. Are we still going to be able to send in samples to Chuck?
I think
Shadow
so.
Springs?
Yes, I was going to say I actually have 4 refractometers with me.
Oh.
And if you are a North Carolina winery or vineyard and you didn't get one, we're giving them away.
Oh,
So,
cool. That's
and yes, we still have funding for people to do it this spring or this fall, at least to some degree, and also people who want to test their wines in progress.
Excellent. And I mean, you're not only helping yourselves with that information, if we can somehow disseminate that information, the more samples we send from all over the state, the more information we have about the muscadine fruit and its chemistry, makeup, and that's going to help winemakers make better decisions
Yeah,
in the future for
did you send
quality.
samples?
So feel free to take advantage of that. It's a really free,
I don't know
it's
anything
free,
about it.
it's
You
a
should
great,
check the chart.
it's a great opportunity for you to look at your wine and get
send it to me. You send it to
a
me.
good overview of your
I have no
chemistry.
idea.
How many of you all have wineries, or you're like
They
making wine
didn't say
or
anything. They must have got lost in
making
the
wine
mail.
with your fruit? Okay, super. So I'm gonna try
I
to
know I
like
sent you the stuff.
not get uber nerdy. Like I tend to kind of get really uber nerdy. Later on, we're gonna do some lab stuff, and I was gonna do some more detailed stuff. But that would be great for y'all as growers if y'all are growing, but maybe not so much if you're not making wine yourself. So we're gonna keep it to analysis of the sugar content later on. We're gonna all get a chance to look at that. So we're gonna go out to the crush pad now, and we're gonna take a look at our how many or what's the amount of rice hulls that we would add to a batch or whatever. So what I kind of say is, like, for one box, one macro bin, which is roughly half a ton, we do about 5-gallon buckets that we're adding then. Somebody standing up there, we're kind of doing this number here, fairy dust, and we get a light covering over what's going in. When that's kind of processed through, then we continue. We usually get about, I can't say exactly what the weight is, but it's a good half a 50-pound bag, maybe-ish, 25, maybe 25 pounds per
1,000 pounds or so.
Yeah, we get them in like big old
Yeah. Okay.
big
So that would
pallets
be
for harvest.
If you've never used rice seed hulls, it does make a big difference. You notice when
Takes
you got the
longer to
muscadine
press.
grape sharp, so it actually will cut that membrane open and even puncture it a little bit. So what it does is it gives us some surface tension, and they say, and based on our measurements, you get about 10 to 15% more yield of juice out of it. So it does make a difference for just a couple of bucks.
so the rice hulls aren't very expensive then.
No, they're not. I think they're expensive to ship, so
Of
you need to
course.
pick them up from somewhere. But I want to say they're about $20 a bag, maybe something like that.
Those
It's
big
not,
bags in there?
Yep, those big bags. So it's not that
Oh, it's
bad.
nothing, yeah.
Yep.
And so where do these rice
So
hulls
5.
come?
Out there, we finish pressing. Then we've got to get the juice to our tanks. And again, if I'm doing the free run juice, I'll just like say, oh, I'm gonna put all the free run in this tank, and then I'll break down the hose, switch over, and be like, okay, go ahead and press. And we just have to switch back and forth until we get that one tank filled. And what we do is we do about 3/4 full because we need some space for fermentation. Otherwise, you might run into some issues there with it fully up and running yet. But the glycol chiller, super important to quality winemaking.
Here. Have music and dance and
Oh yeah,
have your wine.
beautiful event venue.
It is. Wow.
Cypress, right? It's Cypress.
You guys
Cypress.
do weddings and things at Treehouse?
Do about 35, 40 weddings a year.
How big is your event space like this?
So I have a 1,600 square foot pavilion right
You think you're bad. You ain't gonna last. I'm gonna put you down. Catch you later, mother. Come on, baby, hang around. 'Cause I'm a road on a honey. Can't keep up with me. Well, I'm a road runner, baby. You can't keep up with me. Come on and dance with me, baby, baby, you